www.trytvfree.biz. Tuesday weather forecast, partly to mostly sunny today in the mid-60s or so. An east-southeast wind, about 10 miles per hour. Rain showers developing overnight, mid-50s, mostly cloudy. Pretty good chance of rain showers and thunderstorms Wednesday and Wednesday night. There might be some flooding, some heavy rain, and the temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s Wednesday, low 50s Wednesday night. More rain expected Thursday. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. A federal court in Germany has ruled cities can introduce bans on diesel vehicles in areas where air pollution exceeds EU limits. There have been reports of continued fighting during the first supposed daily pause in the rebel-held eastern Ghouta area of Syria. The UK government says a customs union with the EU after Brexit would harm the national interest, and European countries are facing major disruption from heavy snowfall and freezing conditions.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. I hope that everyone is having a great start to your day. I hope that you are enjoying this wonderful sunshine. It is a great relief from all the rain we got last week. So without further ado, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Hardin, and my very special guest today is her official name is Katarina, but we're going to call Dr. Katie Hill. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here and excited to share some information about the Arkansas State R.M. Bob Wood Sales Leadership Center. I am Katie Hill. I've been at Arkansas State since June of 2015. I came from Ole Miss, but I'm so excited to be in Jonesboro, and I've just had a great time here so far. So I welcome any questions and information.
All right, so we just want to let everyone know that you are an assistant professor of marketing.
Yes.
And even I had a limited scope of what marketing and sales and things like that was, but after looking through the page a little more, my mind has expanded, and I'm like, I feel kind of slow that I didn't think about that at first. But we're going to get into what the Leadership Center is all about.
Yeah.
And so if you would like to also look up this information, go to www.astate.edu/college/business/sales and look for R.M. Bob Wood Sales Leadership Center. All right, so let's talk about, first of all, how long has the center been open or been in existence on the campus of Arkansas State University?
Yes, so we, back in the fall of 2015, we got a very generous endowment from the Wood family. That's why the Sales Leadership Center is named after R.M. Bob Wood. They had a vision along with Dr. Shane Hunt to open up this Sales Leadership Center on campus because sales really is important in all aspects of business, regardless of whether you're in business, medical, art, liberal arts. I mean, sales is just innately human, so it's an important skill for us to learn. So there was this vision to open the center. We started construction in late 2015 and then opened our doors in February 2016.
Okay.
So we're actually in our 2-year anniversary right now, so it's really excited that we've been open for 2 years and educating our students in sales and all that entails.
I'm sure that you have seen a variety of students from various majors come through your doors to take various courses in this under this curriculum.
So we have a sales emphasis that is geared towards marketing students, but then we also offer a sales leadership minor that's open to all students on campus. So regardless of your major, it's a minor that they're able to take. So it's 18 hours of pretty rigorous sales training, actually, but it's geared to really not it's not just for the students that maybe want to go into what we call a traditional sales program, or traditional sales job like you would think. It's about really understanding how to sell yourself, sell your ideas, how to be able to convince somebody of your viewpoint, right? We do it every day. I sometimes joke with my students and say, how are you going to sell me on missing class? You're trying to sell me on why you didn't come to class. That's a sale. How do you do that, right? How do you earn that trust and build that relationship? Because that's really what's important. It's about being able to see somebody else's point of view, understand what's important to that person, and being able to come to some sort of agreement. And so that's what we really focus on. And so any major on campus would benefit from a sales minor, because at the very least it teaches you those very essential communication skills to get your viewpoint across to someone else.
Wow, that is interesting. Yeah. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, there are so many and this is not to diminish or belittle the individual, but pop-up entrepreneurs. Like, people are starting small businesses like all over the place. They're turning their passion into profit. And so taking some of these courses would be very beneficial for them, because they would learn how to better market and present themselves to gain more customers and build their profit margin.
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned the pop-up entrepreneurs. I recently went to a career fair, and we had some of the Jonesboro High School students, Valley View students come through, and they wanted information about the university, etc. And I would say 95% of them, when I asked them, so what do you think you want to do? They would say, I want to start my own business. Okay. And so I'm immediately like, okay, here's my information. You need to at least have a minor in sales. Okay. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you want to start your own business, you have to know how to sell that idea. You have to know how to sell that idea to the bank to get your bank loans, to investors to get startup capital. I mean, you have to be able to sell that and say, here's why this is important. Here's what we can do for the community. Here's why you should support me. And I mean, that's sales.
I like how you threw that community aspect in there. Some people don't, I'm not going to say they don't. I think some people are so focused on making money versus how can I make this product, this service relatable to the people in the community in which I live? How can I make them, entice them to want to support me to continue to grow my business? And then what am I willing to give back once I have grown to a certain level?
Absolutely. I mean, that's really important. That's part of your entire philosophy as an entrepreneur. That's got to be, it's not just about here I am as a business making money, but it's now that I've become established, here's what I want to do to give back. Here's why me starting this business in Jonesboro, in my community, is important, and here's how we can grow the community together, because that's got to be part of the mission, right? Because you really need, I mean, to be successful, you really need that community backing.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you just fold. You have to, I mean, it's a give and take. You have to have that help, and so you do have to know, how does your mission fit in? How does your strategy fit in with the mission of the community? Okay. And how can you help, and how can others help you?
That's
and
right.
We do that on a, inside of the university. One of the things when we started kind of strategizing on what we wanted the R.M. Bob Wood Sales Leadership Center to be, we wanted to go outside of just focusing on our College of Business students. We said, this is bigger than just the College of Business. We want to serve everybody. And that's why we've got the sales leadership minor. But we also do a lot of work outside of that with companies around the area, training them in sales. I've done workshops for the Delta Center to allow companies to come in, and here's a crash course. You've started a company, here's a crash course in sales. Here's why it's important to you. Here's what you can do today to help build your business. We right now we've got our preview day coming up. And so we're doing a workshop with the ambassadors that recruit for preview day. Here's how you can better sell the university. Here's what we can do better to connect more with our potential students, because that's what sales is. It's about making that connection. I tell my students and all the time that you've got something that somebody wants, but they have to connect with you as well. You know.
That's right.
So.
Oh, I mean, I'm loving this conversation. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're talking with Dr. Katie Hill from the College of Business. We're talking about all things marketing, and it's bigger than you think. It's not just about, here's my business, I'm trying to sell you on my idea and my product, but it's so much bigger, and it expands to people in all industries, which I don't know. I feel slow for being so limited in my thinking, but like the radio station is nonprofit. So we have to essentially sell ourselves and our product or our service that we offer to the community and let them know why they should support us. So it works in all aspects, in all businesses, in all areas of life. I know there's some people who do life coaching or brand coaching, and first of all, they have to sell themselves to the people that they're reaching out to, who they're trying to help build brands for themselves, and so on and so on. So sales is everywhere.
It's everywhere. I mean, I joke and I say, I have to sell my husband all the time on taking me to like Omar's or something, Yes. I mean, I'm constantly selling. I try to sell my daughter on things too, but so far that's not working. She's a little too young to really buy into that. But here's, we talk about your, you selling your ideas and yourself, but it's so much more than that, and it's really understanding what does this particular, let's call them buyers, right?
Okay.
What do they need? How do I become a strategic partner with them? So it's not just me giving you all the facts about my business and saying, here's what I think, here's what I think, here's what I'm selling, here's what I'm selling. It's about what's important to you and how can I adapt what I'm doing to fit you, right? Because everybody has a different value structure. So even this radio station, you're selling the idea. How do you change your sales strategy depending on who you're talking to, who you want to become a part of the radio station? How do you say, I know this is what's important to you. Here's what we have that can fit that.
Okay.
And that's something that's really missing, because anybody can give out facts about their business, right? But it takes special kind of training and listening and communication skills to really uncover what's important to this buyer and what do I have that will allow me to be a partner with them. Because that's where that connection happens.
Okay, so make your customers feel like they're partners in your business, in essence, versus I'm just selling your product, and once you walk away, I could care less about you or what you do with it, or it's like the connection is gone. Once the transaction is done, then the connection is gone. Yeah. But from what I gather, you're trying to teach students and individuals, you're trying to teach them how to make a deeper, longer lasting connection so that you can have a return customer, maybe word of mouth, tech, everybody's so tech savvy now. And I hear about Yelp and other entities, I guess you say, other avenues of putting information out there, good review, bad review, so you want people to come back, but you want them also to spread the word. And so other people can feel the same feeling that they got when they interacted with the seller.
Yeah, because that's where you build the trust, and you as a salesperson in any area, I'm going to use the word salesperson, but it's really in anywhere you have expertise and you're wanting to share information, that's in essence a sale, so sales isn't, we think about, car sales or insurance sales, that's immediately what pops into people's minds, or gosh, maybe even, door-to-door sales. That's not really what I'm talking about. Sure, insurance sales is important, and we do a good bit of that, and we have insurance sponsors, but it goes beyond that, because those skills, you need them everywhere, because we're just constantly selling. And so uncovering what your quote-unquote buyer, what's important to them, what they value, I can't really sell you anything until I know that.
Okay.
So if I'm not asking those questions, if I'm not uncovering what's important to you, if I'm not trying to figure out, how does what I'm selling, whether it's a product, a service, a nonprofit, if I can't figure out how is this important to you, how can this help you, then I can't really make the sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think there are a lot of people that work in direct sales that could benefit from your courses simply because, again, you're trying to sell someone on a product or an idea. And I'm the type of person, I'm not an easy sell on anything. If I go in the store, something might catch my eye, but I have to feel a connection. I don't know, not necessarily with the store as a whole, but at the same time, I need to feel a connection. I need to feel like this is going to enhance my life in some way.
Right.
All right, so.
And, the service aspect is very interesting because in service, if we're selling a service, we can't separate the service from the person providing it.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm selling a product, I use the example of a cell phone all the time. If I sell a cell phone and I go to a retail space and I buy a cell phone, okay, maybe the service there wasn't that great. Maybe the salesperson wasn't as great as I would have wanted him or her to be, but I don't need them to operate the cell phone that I just bought.
Okay.
But if I'm buying a service, right?
Yes.
Something non-tangible, then I can't separate that. So now I'm not just buying the service that you're providing, but you as well. Mm-hmm. And if I don't have a connection with you, if I don't like you, think about the hair salon. And that's like,
yes.
All the women listening can relate to this, right? If I don't connect with the person that's providing that service, if I can't sit there, my gosh, 2 hours, 3 hours, and have that connection, then I'm going to find somebody else, probably regardless of how great that color might have been or how great that cut might have been, because it's painful.
Yes,
it might be painful to sit there. So that service aspect is so important, that when you're providing a service, that's such a different kind of sell than just providing a product. And nonprofit is even more complicated and even more intricate because you're selling an intangible, but you're also selling a way for people to feel good about themselves by giving back.
Wow.
And that's a really interesting thing. We recently had the CEO from Girl Scouts come and talk to our class about the nuances of nonprofit selling. And so you're selling a mission, you're selling, here's a way for you to give back, and you're not getting anything except for here's good feelings about what you're doing. Here's girls that you're helping, but there's not really a service. There's not really a product that ever trades hands.
Okay.
So that's a very different type of thing. You really have to get customers on a whole new level. So we can talk about that some more, especially as you guys are approaching your week of
Pledge Drive. Yes,
Pledge
ma'am.
Drive. So
yes, ma'am, most definitely. I did want to get into something I saw on the web on the
Sure.
page. It says the Collaborate and Create culture of the Sales Lead program sparks students' innovation and collaboration thinking by teaching, coaching, and pushing students to champion their ideas.
Yes.
So let's talk more about that program.
absolutely. So Collaborate and Create It, it's a program that is basically intertwined in all of our sales classes.
Okay.
So I don't teach sales by standing up in front of the room and lecturing.
Okay.
We teach sales by doing.
Okay.
So the Sales Leadership Center, the physical space, is set up like a conference room.
Okay.
So it's a big boardroom table, and my classes take place there, my advanced sales classes. And we work in a culture where it's a round table, everybody's ideas are heard. It's very much like a business.
Okay.
So we're trying to make the gap between college and career as seamless as possible. And my students have a dress code, but they are always able to share their ideas. They champion their projects. We have projects that we work with companies around the area. Right now we're working with Altruza. It's a nonprofit company. And they raise money for other nonprofit organizations. It's a women's leadership organization. And we are selling their sponsorships for their National Administrative Day event. And so my students are out in the community now selling these sponsorships.
Okay.
They're in charge of their prospect list. They're in charge of making their calls. They're in charge of going out on these calls, presenting these ideas, and then they come back and they say, here's what worked, here's what didn't work, and they help each other.
Okay.
And
so they're getting some real hands-on
oh
experience.
yes, I mean that's, and and a lot of their grade is dependent on what are your goals and did you reach those sales goals, much like it will be when they get out, right? You have to be accountable for. So it is very much real world, except they have the freedom to really explore and make some mistakes. I say, even me, I've been doing this for a long time and I still fall on my face from time to time, but this is a safe space to do that, because the community supports us, the company that we're working with, Altruza, they're supporting us, and so if you're not successful every time, that's okay. If you feel like, oh, that call didn't go quite as I wanted, it's okay. This is the safe space. This is where you try. This is where you figure out what your sales voice is. How do you make the call? And for everybody it's different because, you have to be comfortable with a sales strategy that works for you. The one that works for me isn't going to work for everybody.
Okay.
Because our personalities are different. It's got to be your voice, and so they get to explore that and practice it in a safe space and then go out and make a difference.
So do the students get to critique each other? Is that part of the curriculum?
Oh yes. So all of my students for each class, they're in a...
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll take a break. And I don't want you to get cut off. So we'll definitely pick that up when we come back from break. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're going to take a quick break, but please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Have you told your kids not to talk to strangers? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Well, actually, the concept of stranger can be confusing to children. So instead, teach them to recognize unsafe situations, warn against adults who might stop to ask for directions, or help in finding a lost pet. Tell your children never to go anywhere with an adult who doesn't know the family password. Teach your children that it's okay to run away or cause a loud scene if they feel someone might be dangerous. Talk to your kids and then role play to make sure they know what to do in an unsafe situation. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Facebook? You can at facebook.com/Mark Merrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Hello, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Katie Hill from the College of Business and more specifically the marketing program. This is really amazing. So thank you so much for coming and sharing this information.
Absolutely.
I hope that everyone that is listening is getting something from this conversation. Sales and marketing are in every aspect of your life. I mean, it would take a long time to really go through the whole gamut of it, but sales and marketing is in every aspect of your life. And I bet if you sit and think about it, you'll be like, okay, I never thought about it like that. So we're going to keep the conversation rolling. But before I went to break, you were answering a question about the students critiquing each other once they've completed a project or they're working on a project. They come back to the table. So student says, I didn't do so well, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so one of the ways that we learn is getting other people's feedback. And as wonderful as my feedback might be, they don't always want to hear from me all the time. And so we make the environment such that everybody gets to share their ideas. So as they go out on these calls for their specific project, they come back and we have a weekly sales meeting to say, who did you call on? How did it go? What was your approach? Okay. And what was your success or lack thereof? And then students get to say, you know what, I've tried that before. That really didn't work for me. Here's what I did differently to change it. And so we're able to take other students' ideas and say, okay, let me try that and see if it works. Okay. I've got some students that are really great at making sales over the phone. Okay. They're really good at that. That's for me personally, I'm better face to face. Okay. But I'm not going to tell somebody you have to sell face-to-face because like we mentioned before the break, a lot of it is your personality. You have to find your own voice. People ask me all the time, okay, here's my situation. What would you say to the buyer? Okay. And I'm like, okay, here's what I would say in that situation. And they're frantically writing it down. I'm like, but wait a minute. You're not going to be able to say what I say because that's my voice. You have to be comfortable with the words that are coming out of your mouth. It has to be your voice. Your personality has to come through because it has to be natural because it's a human interaction. We're not robots, right? So it's a human interaction. So here's what I would say. Here's how I would handle the situation. Learn from that, but make sure it's your voice. You're not going to be able to sound like me. Okay. And so that's what they're able to get in this collaborate and create structure is that it's that freedom to say, here's what went well, here's what didn't. What are your ideas? How can I make this better? And then we get feedback from the customers that they've called on. I have a prospect list, so I call up and say, I know that Katie came to visit you. How did it go? Let me know, how did it go? We have Aflac as a sponsor for us, and they do a project every year with our intro to sales class, and the students have to sell Aflac back to Aflac. So Aflac comes in and trains them. They do a really great job training the students, and then the students role play that sales interaction. It gets recorded in one of our sales recording studios, and Aflac critiques it and say, here's what went really well, here's where you need to improve. And the great thing about that is it's a partnership, and Aflac has found some very great interns that they've hired right out of that sales class, or even full-time employees that have gone on to work with them because they were like, oh wow, look at this person, they never thought they wanted to be in sales. And that's the great thing that's so fulfilling for me, is that I have students that's like, oh, I would never go into sales, I would. And now they're like, oh my gosh, I can't think of anything else but sales, and the majority, when I walk into anywhere really and ask, how many of you think you want to be in sales, or how many of you do you think sell? And it's like maybe one little hand goes up, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm here to tell you, it's all of you. All of you are going to be in some sort of sale. At the very least, you have to sell yourself on that job interview, because when you go to interview for a job, your buyer is that company that you want to work for. Yes, ma'am. And so those skills are transferable no matter what you do.
And I want to get into that more in the list that at least the list is listed on the web page. We do have a Facebook shout out from Dr. Karen McDaniel. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Helen. Good morning to you, Dr. Karen.
Good morning.
And then shout out to Mr. Frank Polinsky for watching. Thank you, Mr. Frank, and whoever else is watching. I can't see everybody, so I hope that you are enjoying this conversation. I know I am. I'm learning so much. I wish I could take notes, but okay, so let's get into corporate seminars and training. So tell us, you kind of touched on some of that where you have different companies come in to talk to the students and really drive home the message of sales marketing and how to really grow in the area, in those areas.
Yes. So the corporate seminars and training, it's twofold. So one, we have a class called Sales Strategy that is open to our corporate partners to actually come in, and they're the ones that train our students. So like we mentioned earlier, we have, sales is different depending on the industry.
Okay.
There's a different strategy to nonprofit sales, to product sales, to financial sales. And so we've partnered with different companies to say, you guys are experts in financial sales. Come and talk to our students about the nuances of financial sales. What does your customer look like? How is your customer different from that customer that I'm trying to get as a nonprofit, right? How are those strategies different? And so that way the students get to hear from somebody other than me, right? And they get to hear from these professionals in the area that are in that industry specific, and it gives them a chance to network, build relationships. But then the other side of that corporate seminars and training is that we at the Sales Leadership Center, we offer sales training to corporations as well. So I've done sales training for banks in the area. So companies that maybe don't have their own sales training, which sales training is very expensive. It's very time intensive. Right now, the Sales Education Foundation puts out a survey every year, and right now, based on their research, they say that if you hire a student out of a sales program that has sales experience, a sales minor, we certify in sales as well, your company will save $100,000 in training. And that, I know, and it's like, wow, where does that come from? But you think about companies that train in sales, anytime you're training somebody, that means they can't do the job that you hired them to do until they're trained,
but
right?
You're still paying them.
Yes. So you're paying them to be trained, so that's money they're not earning for you, right?
Wow.
And then the training itself is expensive. And so by hiring out of this program, you're saving money, you're getting this experience because they've been selling for 2 years, but we also provide that training to small businesses, to other companies that don't have their own sales training. And most companies don't, because it's very costly to staff an on-site sales trainer. So you're able to come in, say, I have small businesses calling me all the time. We started this business, but I really don't know anything about sales. Can you help me?
I was going to ask you about the community aspect, because we're always trying to drive home the message about Arkansas State is not a separate entity.
Right.
It is in a central location. However, Arkansas State University serves the community and city of Jonesboro and surrounding areas as a whole.
Right.
And you're always offering programs that help individuals that live and work within the city.
Yes.
Because eventually those students that are going to school are going to be living and working in the city, and they need to know how to smoothly integrate themselves into whatever field they're going into. So I was going to ask you, do you offer opportunities for individuals, say, from the community to come in? Do you offer a non-degree seeking program for someone who may want to take some courses here and there just to gain extra experience?
So we don't offer it now, but it is in the works to offer a sales leadership certificate, which will, in essence, do exactly what you just said. Will allow for business professionals in the area to come back and take 12 hours, so 4 classes of sales in the sales specific area. We're looking at even doing specific sales like ag sales, financial sales, bank sales, where you can get a certificate in these areas without having to be enrolled in the university, but you can come back as a professional and take those classes. I also work with like I mentioned earlier, with the Delta Center. We'll have a sales seminar coming up in the summer where anybody from the community can sign up to attend a sales seminar and get some sales. It's a 3-hour training.
Okay. We'll definitely stay on top of that, and I'll be looking out for.
Absolutely.
And if you don't mind, if you have an email list or something, add us to your email list so we can stay on top of what's going on.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear about things that Arkansas State is doing that will benefit members of the community, because we want them to feel a sense of connection. Arkansas State is here to serve, again, the community.
Right.
Educate the students that, again, are going to be put back out into society and, work at these various businesses. I do want to touch on the career options. This is where people can really expand their mindset, like me, on what is possible, where it's possible to use these skills learned in the sales and marketing classes. So let's talk about some of the career options that are available. I mean, I'm sure this list can be really endless.
It is endless because, like we mentioned, it's any career. It's anything that you do has a sales component to it. The sales industry specifically, I mean, just to show how important it is and how much it grows, it didn't suffer at all during the financial crisis. In fact, there was an uproar of jobs available during that time, which, I mean, it was really incredible. People are losing their jobs, but those sales jobs stayed intact. In fact, it was increasing. There was still like 30% of jobs that weren't filled that they were still looking for. And so sales is everywhere. And the great thing about this is that sales training and sales courses provide you with training in soft skills. The communication skills. I mean, we hear these words, right? These soft skills. And companies they want future employees to already possess these skills. I don't want to have to train you on this. I can train you in those hard skills, those technical skills, right? I can train you on the product and service, but I want you to come with those soft skills. And that's in every job. So even, sales teaches you how to be a team player, how to make appointments, how to be on time, how to build relationships, how to understand what's important to others, and how to communicate, and what job doesn't need that, right? So even if you're an art major, and you're like, well, sales wouldn't apply to me. Well, it would. I mean, you've got to send your message out there about your art, right? What do you want to do with that? So it's that communication. I have a student, and I wouldn't mention his name because I wouldn't want to embarrass him. No, but he is in graphic design, and he's like, Dr. Hill, I mean, how is this gonna apply to me? And I say, well, you want to sell your services, right? Yes. You want to put out videos, you want to do photography. I mean, how are you going to connect with your potential customers? How are you going to show them that this is a service that they want?
Tell them to come see us, because we're always looking for, someone to do certain things. And so if he wants to gain some experience, send him to talk to the station manager and pitch his ideas and product.
Yes.
And so he can get that experience. We'll be happy to give him a real life
experience. And he's doing it now. He's out there doing it now, and he sees the value now. But back to your original question. I mean, if we're talking about more traditional jobs, I mean, financial industry is full of sales jobs. I have finance majors all the time that say, oh, I don't need to take sales. I'm like, because I'm not going to be in sales. I'm like, really? You're not going to be in sales? What are you going to do with a finance degree? Well, I'm going to be a financial planner. I'm like, okay. Well, how are you going to get those customers? Who are you going to financial plan for? That's sales, right? Because but one of the goals from the very beginning with the Sales Leadership Center was to redefine what sales means, right? Because we kind of have to retrain people's minds, and this is sales. What you're doing is sales. Anytime you are building a relationship, that's a sale. And so, financial industry, you've got insurance, you've got the banking industry, any sort of business development, entrepreneurship, event planning, nonprofits, real estate, corporate real estate, residential real estate. That's all selling. And that list can go on. And I mean, your show would have to be much longer for me to get through it all, right? But so it's everywhere. I did some training for our recruiters on campus, right, that are selling the university to potential students, right? So it's not, for our students, and I remember as a student, what was important to me was to connect with the university. It's not just all about facts and figures, right? And that's what makes sales so interesting now, is because it's really evolved, with the explosion of the internet and our ability to get our hands on all information. I don't necessarily need somebody telling me all the facts about something, because I get to find it myself. And you've got those customers that do the research themselves. So then does that mean sales becomes irrelevant? No. Now it's about me. Okay, you know this. Here's how I make that connection. Here's how I get you bought in. And that's, so, talking to our recruiters about that, that's, they understand the importance of sales, and that this is part of what we have to do to make people feel connected.
I have a question. Okay, so say you have a student that comes in a little, and I hate to use the word confident, overly confident. How do you, not necessarily break them down, but help them redirect that energy, attitude, and say, okay, you cannot go into, it's one thing to be confident, but it's one thing to be overly, to the point where you turn someone away.
Absolutely. And so actually I've had experience with this with my own students, and confidence is great, but it does need to be harnessed and channeled, because you don't want to come across as a know-it-all, maybe, right? And so the importance is just students understanding, one, my favorite phrase is, don't overpromise and underdeliver, right? So sometimes that confidence can be, we can do anything for you. Well, that's not really the case. Like, you really have to understand where your limitations are and how you can really help somebody. But understanding that your customer is your most important asset. And so it's about them feeling confident in you. And the way we can show that is through making that connection, building trust, and understanding when it's my turn to listen. When I tell people that when you meet somebody for the first time, you meet that potential customer, your job is to ask them questions. And during that first interaction, you should actually only be talking 20% of the time. You should be getting to know them. Because people need to feel valued, they need to feel important, they need to feel like their voice is heard. And that's what's important to your customer. So how do you ask those questions to gain the information that you need then to make that sale? That here's what's important to you, here's what I can do to meet those needs.
Now for these courses, are they just bachelor's, or do you have a master's program?
They're so the courses that are offered for the sales leadership minor, those are bachelor level courses. We do have a sales elective now that is offered in our MBA program. So students can opt in at the graduate level to take a sales class at the graduate level, which is really exciting.
So there's so much going on with this center, and so you offer so many things. I'm looking at the list of the companies that you work with. Chemfield, which is industrial company, Jonesboro Regional Chamber of Commerce, awesome. Now that's a great place, because there's a collection of individuals from almost every business in Jonesboro. They all come together through the Chamber of Commerce. AutoMill, what is that?
They're a printing company. So they work with us. They provide internships to our students. One of our first graduates actually just recently got a job with them. So they do all printing services. They print like the bank statements that are sent out by different banks. But they also do things as simple as printing business cards. Right? So they're a printing company.
And then Optus.
Optus is a great partner for us.
Optus, like a fiber optics kind of?
They're a communications company. So they offer communications tools for other companies, and they actually offer our students to get certified in Salesforce, which is a customer relationship management software. So they're important. And then we talked about Aflac
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Okay. When we come back, we'll wrap up. You tune in to Community Conversations.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Today we're talking about the financial hoarder. Hoarding is rooted in fear and anxiety, the need to hold on. It's a mindset of poverty, not abundance. Unfortunately, bad economic times, such as our most recent Great Recession, can trigger or exacerbate a hoarder mentality. As a result, financial hoarders may sacrifice their future on the altar of today, keeping all of their money in a low-interest savings account instead of diversifying into investments with higher interest earning potential, or failing to invest for long-term goals such as retirement. Buying cheap goods of low quality can actually be less cost-effective than paying more for higher quality that will last. Hoarding resources is not a substitute for smart money management. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK 102.5 FM is giving away free gas in February. That's right, KLEK has teamed up with Mrs. Polly's Motivational Barbecue CAB, 2098 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro in the Teletech parking lot, and the Lambda Eta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated to give you free gas. All you gotta do is tune in to All Gospel Wednesday with Brother Cobbs every Wednesday in February from 11 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. When Brother Cobbs asks for the 10th caller, all you gotta do is call in and say, "Your life, your music, KLEK." Call in to 870-277-1080. Again, that's 870-277-1080. And you will win a $30 gift card good at any come-and-go gas station. KLEK, giving away free gas every Wednesday for All Gospel Wednesday in February. And remember, your life, your music, KLEK. KLEK, Mrs. Polly's, and Phi Beta Sigma, we do it for you.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
The key to making this station even better could be parked in your driveway right now. Donate your old car to us, you'll get a tax deduction, and we'll tow it away for free.
Go to klekfm.org for more information.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle, waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com. Check out the Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Listen as Dorinda plays the very best in contemporary gospel music and interviews all of your favorite gospel artists. The Dorinda Clark Cole Radio Show every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm speaking with Dr. Katie Hill from Arkansas State University from the College of Business. She teaches sales and marketing she teaches sales and marketing classes. Right now you're teaching bachelor's level classes, and there are some master's level courses available for those in the MBA program.
Yes, so Dr. Shane Hunt teaches an elective in sales in the MBA level.
And so before we went to break, we were talking about some of the businesses that you work with, and if you would like to learn more about this program, go to www.astate.edu, go to College of Business in the little search box, and scroll down until you find, go back up. Well, we're looking at the RM, is RM?
RM Bobwood.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my mouse. Okay. All right, the RM Bobwood Sales Leadership Center. So, and then there's also a video that you can watch to learn more about this center and the programs and the classes that you offer. So in this last segment, we want to give you opportunity to wrap up or give some information we might have missed, so that people can really understand the full scope of what you have to offer in this program.
Absolutely. So one of the things we didn't, I haven't mentioned yet, is kind of the opportunity for our for corporations in the area to really connect with our students and network with them. So one of the things that's really important in sales is for you as a salesperson or really, I mean, an entrepreneur, you really need to get out into the community and be able to network and figure out who's there and how to build those relationships. And so we want to teach students how to do that. How do you get out of your comfort zone and walk across a room and say, "Hi, I'm Katie Hill. It's so nice to meet you. I work for Arkansas State University. You know, what do you do in the community?" You know, that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do, especially with social media where we're in our phones and it's hard for us to make that face-to-face connection. And so we are putting out a networking event that's March 14th. And it's an event that allows our students to network with corporate professionals and allows corporate professionals to see our students, what they're all about. So it's a way for us to showcase both. Here's the companies in the area that are looking for talent, you know, and basically matching students up with these corporations in it. It's our first annual sales meet and mingle event. So, but we're really excited to provide that opportunity. So they'll be able to train on their networking skills again in a safe environment. And corporations will be able to see the talent that we're putting out and hopefully make connections on future employment, which is what we want to do. You know, we want to have 100% placement out of our program. If our students, you know, they're motivated, I tell them, you know, I will be your champion. I will get you hired. If you're motivated and you put forth the work, then I will work for you. And so right now our students are getting hired left and right. I mean,
that's amazing.
Yes. You know, I've had companies that are like, "Oh, we're looking for a talented sales student." I'm like, all my students are placed, you know, like I want to give you more. So I need more students in the program so I can keep, you know, filling these positions because we have really great employment opportunities with, you know, great, it's not just about the employment now, but it's about where can you grow with that company. So the companies that we want to do business with, they're able to provide a career path for our students, which I think is really important.
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you partner with the career services on campus to connect students also?
Yes, so we do work with career services. We're actually working right now on building our partnership more on how can we work together even better. You know, I don't want to recreate the wheel if somebody else is doing something.
Okay.
I want to help them, and I want them to help us. If there's something they're doing really well, which they you know, we send them to resume workshops. We make sure that they've got all of those skills, and then we work with them, especially when they hear from others on here's what we're looking for. You know, do you have students in this area that would be interested in these jobs? You know, they pass them along to us, and so we are trying to find more ways to work together. Mm-hmm.
All right, so also before we wrap up, can you tell us more, just drive home that community connection aspect of your program and how it benefits the community, not just Jonesboro, but surrounding areas as well, just Arkansas.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really, you know, we're benefiting the community by putting out students that are already trained in these soft skills.
Okay.
So they really are job ready. They understand the importance. We're really trying to close the gap between college and career and make it seamless for them. And two, we want to offer our services to the community. We want to train community professionals that maybe didn't get that training when they were in college, you know, because the program has only been available for 2 years, or they've gotten into sales maybe later in their career and they said, oh, I want some additional training. So we want to be able to service that as well, because we want to connect the community with the students and with the university.
Okay. Alrighty, well, we can't thank you enough for joining us. Any shout outs, anybody you want to give some recognition to?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't always give a shout out to the Wood family that makes this Sales Leadership Center possible. I tell my students, this was their vision, and we want to do right by them in all that we do, so we can't thank them enough.
Were they from
Yes.
Jonesboro?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anyone out there that knows anyone from the Wood family, please give them a big thank you.
Yes.
This center is very beneficial to not just the campus, but to the city, community, and surrounding areas, because they are you are training students that are going to be awesome.
Yes.
In whatever area they go into, whatever job field, whatever career field they go into. Absolutely. So thank you so much for all of the services, all that you do. One thing I forgot to touch on, you mentioned about like when you're working with the recruitment, and I was thinking about how Dr. Danfus talked about it's not just about retention, it's also about increasing the enrollment numbers as well. We definitely want to retain what we have, but we want to bring more students in because enrollment had been down for becoming freshmen. So so marketing and sales is all around, everywhere. So anyone out there listening, no matter what industry you work in, think about how you interact with your customers, potential customers or partners. You're trying to sell, entice, whatever word you want to use, them to buy into, maybe not monetarily buy into. If you work for a nonprofit, you want to convince, I hate to say convince, you want to get someone to help you with whatever products you're working on. So think of it on that aspect as well. So
you want to figure out what other people value and how you can bring value to them.
All right, so that is the quote of the day. And so we're going to leave it right there. We thank everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow, we're going to have someone from the Jonesboro Police Department come and fill in for the Chief of Police, since they didn't get to make it the first of the month. So please tune in and get your questions ready. We'll be happy to ask them whatever you bring to the table. I hope everyone has a really great day. Enjoy the sunshine. Let's pray that no more rain comes this week. All right, have a great day, everyone. This has been Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.